5 episodes in, things are heating up. We're looking at the Uni Knot. This is Toit Fishing. I'm Warren. That's Jasper. Let's unpack this universal knot, see how good it really is. Put the kettle on or get a brew, sit down, relax, and let's have a look at the data together. Quick lowdown on all our parameters. If you want a bit more in-depth or more detail, go on our website. We've got a half a page there on all our different parameters. But just to sum it up quickly, we're testing braid, we're testing monofilament, we're testing fluorocarbon, £10, £30, £50, £80, £100. We're testing the mean line strength, the actual line strength, not the stuff, not what it says on the tin. We're going to let you know how many wraps on the Uni Knot to use for every single line type. All the knots given in percentages compared to the overall line strength, and you'll get an overall mean knot strength as a percentage. And not only that, in the world's strongest knot, we've got a leaderboard. We know who's on top, the tri-lead knot. Let's see if the Uni Knot's going to do some knocking down. We're going to find out later. Stay tuned. Tip of the day, this is becoming a little recurring little thing in these testing videos on the Uni Knot. Really important. Don't add too many wraps. What you're going to find is the more wraps you add, the more surface area you're creating. However, allowing the standing end, when it does draw through and it stretches the knot out, there's more contact in the knot. You're damaging the line, and it really does. We've tested it. It destroys the knot quicker if you add unnecessary wraps. So really important, keep the wraps down to what we suggest. So keep the wraps to a minimum and you'll retain a really good knot strength. So in this example, we've used a £100 braid. We've tightened up really hard. We've got it on a £600 swivel and we're going to put it under load on the machine. So when we apply a real load to the braided line, the graph and the knot move. So what you're getting is all the lines are binding up within the knot and causing all these serrations and damage to the main line, and that's basically where the knot will destroy itself. So this cutting and abrasion within the knot, it's typically why all knots fail eventually. It depends on how much damage they get within the knot when it's working. So it's very evident on the Uni Knot. Take a look, we'll show you in the results. So some interesting facts during testing we also noticed was that on a £100 and £80 monofilament we had 2 or 3 samples break mid-sample. Incredible really, considering the amount of pressure being applied. This knot seems to allow the standing end to release small amounts of line within the knot without getting damaged. Incredible. Okay, so now we have this big subject to discuss with regards to the Uni Knot, the biggest pitfall. Just before we get too deep in on the subject, I just want to make this clear. The comments below refer to extreme loads where we're exerting more than 50% load to the manufacturer's stated line strength. So this is only really evident on braided lines. So referring back to the Monster Knot Shakedown video, or our overview video, I showed you 2 variants to the knot. These variants are created when you cinch down the knot at the end. One variant you cinch the tag end only, the other variant you cinch the standing end and the tag end together. The end result is that you get a knot that looks different where the one allows the outer loop to wrap around the knot and the latter has a line running from top to bottom that is almost straight, maybe within half a wrap down to the bottom. So let's take a look at the video clip of both these knots. So for the overwrapped, you will see a 100-pound braid dip slightly in the middle of the loading where there's some movement in the knot, but the loading is constant and almost in a linear direction until breakpoint. On the second example, where the knot looks a lot nicer, if I may add, but functionally will fail, you see the load rise fairly evenly with some movement within the knot, but at around 45-pound mark it fails. It just slips and ends up being a proper Varley knot. We tested a lot of knots in the braid to destruction to give you this information. So again, we're talking about extremes. So if you got the drag set at 30 pound, you're good to go. But hey, that's your call. I would strongly advise against this. So on all our testing, we tightened the knot by cinching 95% of the knot by pulling the tag end only. This ensures good overwrapping, and we had no slippage whatsoever on the advised wraps in the results later. Okay, so the results, let's take a look. I hope this great knot delivers some great results to go with it. Monofilament, let's see how we did. Pay particular attention to the heavier gauge lines and see how these fared. These lines have been a problem for the knot so far. 10-pound monofilament line, 13.8 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps with 81.16% mean knot strength. 30-pound monofilament line, 42.2 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps and 89.71% mean knot strength. 50-pound monofilament line, 66.79 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps and 85.42% mean knot strength. 80-pound monofilament line, 103.53 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps only, 87.33% mean knot strength. And 100-pound monofilament line, 117.96 pounds, 3 wraps only, and 92.58%. So on 100% fluorocarbon leader material, I hope we continue on this trend. Let's dig in and have a look. Let's see if the additional hardness increases the internal workings of the knot. 10-pound fluorocarbon line, 11.41 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps, 77.99%. 30-pound fluorocarbon line, 27.59 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps and 88.21% mean knot strength. 50-pound fluorocarbon line, 42.35 pounds actual measured line strength, 3 wraps and 77.96% mean knot strength. 80-pound fluorocarbon line, 58.68 pounds, 3 wraps only, and 91.49%. And finally, braided lines. Let's take a look. I'm personally interested in the 80 and 100-pound performance. 10-pound braided line, 21.7 pounds actual measured line strength, 8 wraps, tag end tightened, must be overwrapped. 91.81% mean knot strength. 30-pound braided line, 32.16 pounds actual measured line strength, 8 wraps, tag end tightened, must be overwrapped. 92.21%. 50-pound braided line, 55.05 pounds, 8 wraps, tag end tightened, must be overwrapped. 80.49%. 80-pound braided line, 85.89 pounds actual measured line strength, 8 wraps, tag end must be tightened, must be overwrapped. 62.36%. And then finally, 100-pound braided line, 93.74 pounds actual measured line strength, 7 wraps, tag end tightened, must be overwrapped. 69.83%. So this truly is a heavyweight knot. Not only has the results been great, it really delivers on the knot strength for the thicker lines. If you compare the results to the previous 3 knots for heavier lines, it stands above them by a country mile. But alas, the results are based on all the line weights. Let's check out our leaderboard and see how these results stack up against the big boys. Monofilament, let's see what the overall percentage performance does. Wow, straight in at second place, 87.24%. That's brilliant, incredible really. The Trilene knot still hanging in onto the podium spot. Wow, that's also impressive. When you have time, compare the results between the Uni and the Trilene. At some point, the Trilene is a better knot for smaller lines, and the Uni knot is the better for thicker lines. Incredible data actually. Right, fluorocarbon, 84.07%, incredible. What's interesting though is, if the line has a higher abrasion to the raw material, even the Palomar ends up beating it. Now that's barely a margin. How close is that? Almost equal. Okay, so braid, this is where things really get heated. The stuff is like a hot knife through butter in my hands when I'm tying it. 79.34%. Oh my gosh, we have a new leader. Now the results again slightly low, but if you look at the thinner lines, it shows this knot in the high 90s. Wow, incredible. Hope everyone's enjoying the content and enjoying using the data. Is there a better braid knot, or one that is really good on really heavy lines? We've got some big names coming up in the future. You're watching the world's strongest knot. I'm Warren. Join us for a brew on the next video. Thanks for watching Toit Fishing. Like, subscribe, get on our website. We'll see you, what are we doing next week?
We decided that after uni.
I think we might be looking at the Toit knot. Stay tuned, this is a knot we've designed. I've got high hopes for it. I really think it's a great knot. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Thanks for watching the Uni Knot episode, hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.